customizing the website theme. So as always, let's start by going to the website portfolio, which is john.eitzel.com/portfolio. And again, we're going to go to dynamic homepage demo. Now in this video, we are going to concentrate on the website's main menu bar. This menu bar will feature on the finalized version of the website. However, for the purposes of this demo, I have modified some of the links to allow us to tweak minor settings within the website theme. First up, we have the fonts. Now here I allow you to, I have provided two variations. One is serif and the second is sans serif. Just as a reminder, serif fonts are fonts with little hats and decorations on the extremities of the letters, which are intended to aid reading along large blocks of text. Sans serif fonts are more minimalist, such as this example, and you can see have none of these hats and decorations. Next up are the themes. I've provided for now two themes. The current is Modernist, and I've also included Journal. Now Journal, along with the serif font, you may recognize as one of the themes that I previously showed you. Now, I've only converted this one to HTML, given that it was the one of the three that I showed you that you most liked, but it is no problem to convert the other ones, and please let me know if you want me to do so. Now, this theme is intended to look like a newspaper, perhaps a broadsheet, and therefore is very boxy, tends to have very neutral colors, and of course the classic broadsheet serif fonts. In this case, the serif font is Georgia, I forgot to mention earlier. Now, you did mention that in general you preferred sans serif fonts because you consider them more modern. Now that got me thinking that sans serif fonts became very popular in the 1950s in a design movement called modernism, given that they thought that minimalism in general was a very aesthetically pleasing theme, and it becomes the theme of modernism. So I've decided to call the other theme Modernist, and in the spirit of Modernist I've made it very clean, minimal, there's hardly any decoration. Now this theme can be seen with serif fonts, but frankly I think it works far more effectively with sans serif fonts. One final option we have is color, which allows us to switch between, in this case, red, green and blue. Now as I experiment with colors and come up with color combinations that I think are worth showing to you, I will add more, but for the moment I've simply got these color schemes which have come up because red, green and blue are generally colors that are easy to play around with. There's one last button, homepage layout, which I am yet to work on, which will affect the layout of the actual page. Now at the moment we have the page divided into 4 blocks. We have a slideshow on the top left hand corner. We have an introduction to the web page, followed by a picture of you which could be changed if you so wish, to the top right, and your 2 books on the bottom of the web page. We'd also discussed the possibility of having no slideshow, and your introduction would probably therefore move to the left hand side and one of the books could come upwards. So I will add a menu or sub-menu under homepage layout to allow you to play around with this sometime next week. My personal opinion is that this is probably going to be the most effective layout and most efficient use of space, given that we probably want to give equal priority to both books. Something interesting I'm thinking could also be done is that these books at the bottom could be given some kind of a grey or light coloured background to highlight the fact that there will be buttons or links that will link to the specific books on the web page. If the slideshow is removed and the introductory text is moved to the left-hand side, one of the books would likely come up, giving it more priority. I can see this being problematic unless you intend to give more priority to one of your two books, so that perhaps you're more interested in selling it because you have more copies or for whatever reason. One way of compromising that would perhaps be to have one book at the top occupying half the page as it does now, but the other book at the bottom occupying the entire page to give it a sense of priority in a different manner. Alternatively, we could also drop the slideshow and having the introduction occupying the entire width of the page. I'm a bit concerned about occupying the entire width of a page with text. Well, I mean, it depends on how much text we have to fill in the gaps. These are obviously examples, but also it is generally preferable to have between 6 and 8 words per column, and having a text section the entire page width except for a photograph would probably result in 12 or more words per column, which is generally regarded as bad practice. But anyway, I'll give you options so you can try them all. Finally, one thing to mention is that the slideshow here obviously is just a very rudimentary example. I've pulled this this example straight off the internet from a tutorial website. When I actually write the final version, I will customize it, give it the appropriate height, and obviously it will have relevant pictures. So those pictures being some of the ones that you've sent me, which we'll also have to select. Right, so I believe that is it for this video. I'm going to finalize the video by hitting the refresh key button, at the top of the website to return it to its original state.